Alright, taking a look and seeing where we're at. This is going to be turn 3. Just a reminder of what's going on the board. The U.S. dominates Europe. Middle East is complicated. And Asia, pretty much dominated by the Soviets. Africa fairly empty. America is fairly empty, aside from Cuba. NORAD is in effect, meaning that whenever the DEFCON goes to 2, U.S. will get a free point. In some place they already have some influence. Reminder for the hands, the Soviets have East European unrest. Remove 1 Soviet influence from 3 countries in Eastern Europe. And the Americans have CIA created. USSR reveals hand this turn, then the U.S. may conduct ops as if they played a 1-ops card. Got to deal the cards. This is the draw pile right here. Two, three, four. As usual, we got to reshuffle the face-up draw pile, and we're going to deal it out as normal. Do some quick shuffling here. Don't mind me, just shuffling with one hand. Oops. That's probably good. Let's see, 5 and 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be the new draw pile. There it is. Let's take a look first at the Soviet hand for turn 3. Nuclear test ban. Player earns VP equal to current DEFCON level -2, then improved DEFCON 2 levels. Definitely don't want to play that for the effect no reason to, or the Soviets. 4-ops card, always good. Destalinization, pretty rough for the Americans. It's going to be pretty good. Soviets may relocate up to 4 influence to non-US controlled countries. That's pretty good. We may want to spread some of that Asian influence somewhere else. Maybe the Americans. A good strategy for the Soviets with desalinization is to get in on these other kind of empty regions, because next turn we're going to get some scoring cards for those regions, and it's going to be good for the Soviets to have something there already. And especially with that 4-ops card, I can spread out easy. Red Scare Perch, another good card for the Soviets. Gives -1 to the Americans in this turn. On ops. COS Crisis, remove a total of 4 Soviet or U.S. influence from France, the UK, and Israel. Remove no more than 2 per country. Okay. Israel has 1, if they have France and the UK, so that might not be a bad bet. We'll probably play that. De Gaulle leads France, another good one. Remove 2 U.S. influence in France, add 1 USSR influence. In combo, we can get rid of all the influence in France. We don't have any access, though. Oh, actually, this gives us influence there. We might, that's not bad. We may stage a hostile takeover of France on the first turn. That's a really good hand. Decolonization, another good card. Add 1 USSR influence in each of any 4 African and or Southeast Asian countries. Man, just keep it coming. Middle East scoring, not a problem right now. As you can see, Soviets have a 1-point advantage. So it would seem. Alright, taking a look at the American hand. Cambridge 5. U.S. player exposes scoring cards in their hand. Soviets may add 1 influence to one of those regions. Okay. Arab-Israeli War. Israel gets attacked. Looks like right now the Soviets would be at -2 to that roll, making success only possible on 6. I might try to chance it as the Americans and play that. Indo-Pakistani War. Definitely want to play this. This was a good opportunity for it. If India invades Pakistan, we're only at -1. We got to roll 5 or 6, but then we'll take Pakistan. See, I'd like to use that. NATO, not too useful right now. Soviets may no longer make coup or realignment rolls in Europe. Obviously, they can't do that anyway, and so NATO is it's a 4-ops card, which is where we're going to use it like. Special relationship. UK is US controlled. Actually. NATO might need to be in effect for this. We might need this. But, maybe not. If UK is US controlled, NATO is not in effect. US adds 1 influence to any country adjacent to the UK. Useful. Pretty good. Defectors. Play a headline phase to cancel USSR headline event. We might play that. That's not bad. Truman Doctrine. Remove all USSR influence from one uncontrolled country in Europe. That's going to be pretty rough. Soviets got a good hand. The U.S. does not have a bad hand. That's going to be pretty close. Let's see. The Americans headline card. Not those. No. I'm going to hold off on that. No. Yeah, I think I like defectors the best. We know as the Soviets also, we know as the Americans that we're going to cancel this headline event, but the Soviets don't know that. What's the best card they can pick? These are all pretty good. Any of these might not be bad. Destalinization's pretty good. I definitely would play Red Scare Purge, though, always on my headline card, just to make it, -1 to all their cards. So we'll do that. They get turned over simultaneously. Doesn't matter. DEFCON Defectors happens first, cancels the headline event. No problem. There we go. Temporary discard pile for both of those. Okay. Soviets are going to go first. Yep, Soviets are going to go first. I'd really like to get that first coup in of Iran. In retrospect, it might have been better to play CIA created, but it's too late for that. Not going to worry about that. 4 ops, then, to coup Iran. We've got Middle East scoring. We want to make that as good as possible. We've got 4 to the roll. Stability number there is 2, so the target number is going to be double that is 4. That's 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. We needed 4. That's 5 difference. Soviet influence gets better by 5. That means Americans lose 2. Soviets gain 3. That's pretty good. DEFCON status goes down. Soviets get 4 ops for a 4 ops card. All right, Americans' turn. Let's see. What do we got? Not too happy about that, but that's the way it goes. Maybe we can return the favor. Kind of. I think Indo-Pakistan. Oh man, Indo-Pakistani war just got a lot worse. We have to roll. If Pakistan invades India, we still need a 5 or 6. No, we still need a 6. Rats, that's not good. It's been a few days since I played the last turn of this game, and so theoretically, you should know some of the cards that the other player has in their hand because you've been keeping track of the early war cards, and the ones you haven't seen are the ones that were still in the draw pile. So you should be able to know what other cards the Soviets had, and so I could use that to inform my decision, but I've since forgotten what cards we haven't seen. I didn't look or anything, so let's see. What are the Americans going to do? Europe is fine for the time being. Really like to fix this Asian situation and as well get my whatever influence I can back in the Middle East. Then we're going to do 3 ops. Let's do 4 ops with NATO. 4 ops. Going to put I think 3 into Israel for that. I know I've got Arab-Israeli war, but I might not even play it. And then 1 in Jordan is going to be the other point, because I want that access to Saudi Arabia, and the Soviets should know that. That's an asterisk event, but it's a U.S. event, and I'm the U.S., so that gets face up. Effect didn't go in. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? I've got plenty of options. Let's gear up for this. We might as well just play this. No, actually, we want to make sure we have domination. That's worth 2 more extra points. I've got 3 ops right here. And I want to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm not too worried about the effect. It's not going to make much difference. So 3 ops for the Soviets. 3 ops is going to go into Saudi Arabia. No. Rats. Yeah, the Soviets need a non-battleground country in order to have domination of the Middle East. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If the Americans take it, I still want to have domination. So let's do. Let's go ahead and take Gulf states for the time being. Then we can take Libya. Shit. Maybe Jordan? That doesn't really help, does it? I'm going to take a gamble and say that the U.S. does not have any 4 ops cards. So how about... Man, I don't want to use these cards for ops. I've got a lot of good cards here. Let's do this. Okay, not European unrest. Scratch that. China card instead. 4 ops in the Middle East. 3 into Saudi Arabia or in Jordan to take control, and 1 point in Saudi Arabia. We're going to make a guess that the Americans don't have any 4 ops cards. If they do, they're going to take it, but we'll still have that access to Gulf states first. So that's what we're going to bet. China card gets flipped over here by the Americans. They'll get it next turn. Americans' turn. Let's see. I see that. I see the Soviets block, and their assumption was correct. I don't have any 4 ops cards. So that's kind of in a bad way. I can certainly play some ops to break control of some regions or some countries there. But instead, let's do this. Let's try to take an early lead in Africa for the time being. No, let's not do that. I've got that access in Czechoslovakia. Oh, I totally forgot my NORAD point. Let's do that first. That might be useful. Where would I put a NORAD point? Where would I put a NORAD point? I forgot already, and I used that to inform decisions, so we'll have to make sure we remember that next turn. But I've got 2 choices here. I think I'd rather play Cambridge 5. I don't have any scoring cards, so it doesn't make a difference. Cambridge 5 is going to be 2 points. I'm going to take Algeria, because I've got access from France. Right, there we go. I take control. Cambridge 5, I tell the Soviets I don't have any scoring cards. They know me to be a trustworthy person, so they believe me. That's fine. Let's see. Soviets. I've got that Middle East scoring. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. There's the same chart. Soviets have 3 points for presence, or sorry, 5 points for domination. They do dominate. More battlegrounds, more countries total. 1 of each. So that's 5 points for the Soviets with 2 more battlegrounds. That's 7 points. Meanwhile, the Americans only have 4 points. So that is going to be 4 points difference for the Soviets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Really scoring over here. Now the Soviets can do some serious damage now that that's out of the way. But the Americans go first. Let's see. Always trepidatious about playing into battleground countries in these regions because Soviets are going to get the first coup every turn unless you can stop them. But we can do that. Special relationship is going to be 2 points into South Africa. We'll take that. Getting some territory early on. Soviets can play that same game if they'd like to. Soviets see the American game and they're gonna retaliate, but I might save de Gaulle for maybe the next turn because I want to get rid of some of this. I want to play some of these cards. Let's do decolonization first. That's 1 in 4 African or Southeast Asian countries. Southeast Asia is perfectly fine for the Soviets. You can see it's not bad at all. But Africa, 1 point in Angola, 1 point in Zaire, 1 point in Nigeria. And let's just go ahead and take... No, see, if we put a point in a battleground country, in a non-battleground country, the U.S. can coup. We want to make sure they get stuck at 0 ops. So we've got 1 over here. They can't coup in Asia because of the DEFCON status. Let's do this. Let's be mean and take Indonesia. Okay, no asterisk. That gets face up. Always comes back. It's a real pain in the butt for the Americans. The Americans are going to go now. We still need the ops. We still need the ops. And we see that. Indo-Pakistani War gives us ops, and I mean we can't lose anything really. So Pakistan is going to invade India. We need a 6 on the roll to be successful. No matter what, we get the ops though, so that's good. Let's hope we get a 6 though. 3, we did not get a 6. 2 to the ops track. We met our ops for the turn, and that's all that happens. Rats. Soviets. Soviets, let's do this. Desalinization. Let's add insult to injury. We're going to relocate 4 to non-U.S. controlled countries. We've got these points here in Laos, Cambodia, and Burma. That's what we're going to take. And we're going to reallocate that to the Americas. And I think we'll take Venezuela and Brazil. Just a wide sweeping domination of the world, as the Soviets like to do. Asterisk, discard, permanent discard. Americans. This is not good for the Americans. They know it. They've got these piddly little one-ops cards that I don't want. See, I don't want to play Arab-Israeli war because if they win, they get take Israel, and then Middle East is really messed up. That's probably gonna be messed up anyway. Let's instead do space race. Maybe we can get 2 points. You know, we're not out of the woods yet, the Americans, but this is starting to look like the last game. We're going to space race, face up. We need, over here, we look at the space race track. Next box for the Americans is that 2 ops man and space box. We need, we discarded a 2 ops card. We need to roll 1 to 3. We did not succeed. We don't move up, but that's fine. Let's see, Soviets' last play for the round. It's going to be last play for the round. Let's play for the round. I think the Soviets are going to discard East European unrest, and we'll save that for next turn as a double whammy combo. Space race. Soviets are still down here. They discarded a 2 or more ops card. That's fine. I roll 1 to 3. No dice. They didn't move up. Americans last turn. We got these 2 cards. I like to headline with that next turn, like I was going to do last turn, but forgot. Truman Doctrine doesn't get us much in this context, but we have to play something. Americans are going to play 1 op with Truman Doctrine. But where is the question? Soviets can't retaliate exactly this turn. I think Americans are going to put a point into Mexico. Doesn't really equal the Soviet line right here, but that's what we got. Face up. Effect didn't happen because it's an America card. Face up, and we were the Americans. Oh, that was the wrong card. Truman Doctrine, rather. That's fine. Into the round, we needed 2 ops because that's where the DEFCON status is at. We both have at least 2 ops. That gets put down for the next turn. So DEFCON status goes up. Turn marker goes to 4. As you can see, we're now with mid-war. We're going to shuffle in the mid-war deck. That is somewhere around here, and I will shuffle that in before the next part of the video. China card gets flipped. The Americans will have it for turn 4. And we'll come back with mid-war.